What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics. I thought this would be an interesting video. I was going through the upcoming Heritage auction, and I came across a book. It's a 9.8. Looks like it might be a 9.9 contender. And I was wondering, what would happen if this was a 9.9 contender? What would the value be on it? And would that cause this book to actually sell for significantly more for that potential? Now that it seems like maybe CGC is loosening the reins on those 9.9s. Let's check out this book. All right, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So I know everybody right now has been talking about this giant size X-Men 1 9.9. Also, the fact that it doesn't really look like a 9.9 definitely seems to have some flaws on it that seem like handling defects. And if you look at CGC's definition for a 9.9, it says no handling defects are allowed. But that seems to be maybe changing. I don't know. That's what it seems like. However, I was going through the Heritage auction as part of another video that I was doing. And I was just looking at some of the books, the 9.8s, that kind of thing. And I came across a book that does look exceptional in a 9.8 case. It is a Bronze Age book. It is a book that has 0 9.9s today. And so I was just thinking, what if that book is actually, a 9.9 hiding in a 9.8 case? At least per CGC's current, what they seem to be doing with 9.9s. If that 9.9 pre-screen happens, would this book, be resubmitted to CGC with the potential of getting that 9.9 and that huge price jump that goes with it? Are we going to be seeing people paying huge premiums for 9.8s that look exceptionally clean? That is a possibility. I mean, that is a real possibility that's out there. And maybe people would, and maybe I'm dumb for talking about this. Maybe I should be buying this book in preparation for that potential for the 9.9 pre-screen that could be coming. And then I could maybe 10x, 20x my money with this book if it is in fact a 9.9. All right, so let's check this one out. So here we are on the Heritage homepage. They have this big signature auction that's coming up from April 4th to the 7th. And you can see on here, you've got the Action 1, the 8.5. That is almost certainly going to be the most expensive comic book that has ever sold. The most expensive book that had ever sold previously, I believe, was $5.3 million for a Superman #1, an 8.0, I think Superman #1. This book is already sitting at just over $5 million, so it would not be a surprise at this point if it gets at least a few more bids in the lives or maybe leading up to the auction, the live auction, and exceeds that number. But let's go check out this book that I'm talking about here and what the impacts might be. I think that's one of the interesting things is, I've been talking about how I think it's going to have a negative impact on the prices of 9.8s. Definitely, I think it'll have a negative impact on existing 9.9s because as you add more 9.9s, I think the instant people get that 9.9 grade, if they do this, if this pre-screen happens, if they're getting these 9.9s, I think that they're almost certainly going to immediately flip it because you need to sell quick. Because if there are going to be an influx of 9.9s, it's going to push that price down to whatever the final number is going to be where things start to level off. But I think it's going to be a push down right at the start. I also think on average, it's going to push down the price of the 9.8s, but there could be a period of time. And I think somebody actually mentioned this in one of my comments where they thought this could happen. And so there could be a period of time where some 9.8s actually go for bigger numbers. And it's going to be those 9.8s that have that potential for 9.9s. So what book am I talking about here? Now we've got to, go down and we're going to filter on the Bronze Age books because it's a Bronze Age book that's part of this auction. And I actually looked at quite a few of these and I didn't think any of these ones up here looked like 9.9 contenders. So, I'll just say that right now. Like these didn't look like 9.9 contenders. Especially this X-Men 94. This is a 9.6 all day. There's no way that book is a 9.8, but it's already at 27,000, people buying the grade, not the book. But keep going down here. We've got the Amazing Spider-Man 129. We've got this giant size X-Men 1, which is, that's the big controversy book right now. This Batman 232, Tomb of Dracula, number 10. I went through all these, Werewolf by Night 32, Batman 234. And we got down to this book. And it does. I make fun of these CVA stickers, and I think it's like what I can't remember what the other type of sticker is, but there's a couple stickers where, it's like it looks nice for the grade. And most of the time it's just kind of like it feels like it's just something that gets slapped on there and people just pay more for it because that sticker's there. But in this case, this one does look nice for the grade, looks exceptional for the grade. And I think it may be a 9.9 hiding in that 9.8 case. So let's take a close look at this one. So if you're not aware, X-Men 101 is the first appearance of the Phoenix. This is one of my favorite comic covers of all time. I don't really collect Bronze Age so much anymore. I'm generally buying more Golden Age books now, but this book was one of my on my keeper list for a while. Before I really got into the Bronze Age, I was collecting gold and silver and modern. NYX 3 was one of my keeper books. X-Men 101 was one of my keeper books. House Secrets 92 was one of my keeper books. It wasn't always just Golden Age, for me. And I love this cover. I think this is a awesome cover. I love the color scheme on it, the blue and the yellow and everything. I just think it's fantastic. So this is a 9.8, sitting at 4,200 right now. If we take a look at GPA and look at what a 9.8 has been selling for, this book generally has been hovering around 5,000 lately. And you can see it's been bouncing up and down a lot. It's been on a downtrend for the last, looks like about a year. A couple little upticks there, but downtrend for last year, but still pretty elevated compared to those prices prior to the comic boom. And we look at the last few sales, 4,600, 4,400, 4,800, 5,700, all that kind of stuff. So I was thinking this book will probably sell for somewhere around 5. I mean, it's got this CVA sticker. It's a white pages copy, all that kind of stuff. I was thinking 5,000, 5,200, maybe somewhere in that range. But what if other people think the same thing as me, that this book maybe has the potential for a 9.9 with what's going on with CGC right now? So let's take a close look at it, because the first thing that jumped out, look at this bindery cut. Like, this is what you see with 9.9s. Like, you see these perfect cuts like this, where it doesn't have a rounded edge, doesn't have a little piece sticking up, where it's got a little tear, because that's the type of stuff you can have in 9.8s, but you're not supposed to be able to have in 9.9s. And generally, when I was showing that Giant Size X-Men 1, the 9.9, the bindery cuts were fantastic. Like, that was the big differentiator with that book. The problem that I saw there was that it had what appears to be, and again, it could be light reflection. I mean, maybe I'd need to see it in person, but what appears to be color rub at that bottom staple. Color rub is a handling defect, and you are not allowed to have handling defects in 9.9s per CGC's rules, but CGC seems to be ignoring some of those rules now, or loosening them a little bit. But this is a really nice cut there. And if you see this looks like it's on an interior page, this little bit of like whatever's going on there on that paper. But if we start scrolling down, I don't think like this is like a spine tick. This staple looks really good. I don't see anything noticeable there. There might be a spine tick here. I mean, maybe there's a spine tick there. But Matt Nelson said you can have a spine tick in a 9.9. Maybe there's one there. It's hard to say for sure those are spine ticks or not. Or if, I'm like, we're zoomed in really close. Like, is this a spine tick? Is this one? Maybe not. Keep going down. This staple looks really, really good. And we get to the bottom. Look at this cut too. That is a really good looking cut on that bottom corner too. I can't, it's hard to tell if there's any color loss there or not, but this is a really sharp looking cut. And then we start going along the bottom edge. Bottom edge looks good. This bottom corner looks good. Let's see, keep going up the, the right edge here. Nothing jumps out. This top corner, I mean, maybe it's a little soft there. It looks pretty good. I mean, like I said, we saw that Giant Size X-Men 1. It had something going on that looked way worse than this in that upper right corner. Then we go along the top edge. Top edge is looking sharp. Then obviously it's not just the edges. Like, is there anything else on the cover that jumps out? I don't really see anything else that jumps out. So the question is, is this a spine tick? Is this a spine tick? Is this a spine tick? Are those spine ticks? If they are, would those keep this book out of that, that 9.9 grade? I mean, I would want to see it in person. I would want to be able to actually legitimately see that in person. But it seems like CGC is looking at these like bindery cuts way more like that's much more important to them than anything else when we're talking about like some type of flaw in the spine, especially since they've said, like Matt Nelson has said, you can have a spine tick in a 9.9. And I know 9.9 newsstand, Manu, he had said no person collecting a 9.9 would accept a spine tick in a 9.9 like that. But I mean, if this is where things are going, if this is the trend, things are going down, the way things are going, who knows? But I just thought that this book really jumped out as it does look nice. And those cuts are very, very nice. Now I am zoomed in really far here. It's hard to tell sometimes if this stuff is like on the case or it's actually like a spine tick on the book, or if it's something like where maybe that's some part of the art or something like that, or just a slight difference in printing. So you would definitely be taking a risk, like, does this thing have a shot at that 9.9? But then the question is, what would that 9.9 of this book be worth? So if we go and take a look at the census for this one, you can see here that there are 0 9.9s, but there are 193 9.8s. And I've talked about that before, that I think if you have a Bronze Age book, a Copper Age, modern, whatever, if it has more than 100 9.8s, I think the likelihood, it seems, of a 9.9 hiding in one of those 9.8 cases, pretty high. And I was estimating anywhere in this time period, I mean, it's 1976, mid Bronze Age, anywhere from 2 to 5% of those books could be 9.9s. And so that would be anywhere from 4 to 10 that might be 9.9s hiding in here. But the one that's going to be the biggest book is definitely going to be the first one that sells. Like if someone comes and gets a 9.9 of this book, it's the first one that sells, then would that book, what would that book ultimately sell for? And a lot of times what I see with 9.9s over 9.8s is anywhere from 10 to 20x, 10 to 20 times that 9.8 price. I mean, let's go look at, and if we've got the 9.8 right now, it's going for around 4,500 to 5,000. 10x is 50 grand. 20x is 100 grand. And I would not be surprised if the first one of one X-Men 101 got around $100,000, like 75 to 100,000. Wouldn't even shock me if it went for more. But for example, let's take a look at New Mutants 98. I mean, New Mutants 98 has a bunch of 9.9s, and they sell not all the time, but they sell sometimes. And so we can get an idea of what the difference is here. And obviously it takes forever for this to load because there's so many of them they sell. But look at this. June 2023, $40,000 for a 9.9. What was a 9.8 going for in June of 2023? So June of 2023, go back here. 9.8 is going for like $1,600. This book sold for about 25 times what the 9.8 sells for. 40,000. 25 times. I mean, that's the type of thing where they're going to be looking really, really close at their 9.8s to see if they think it has a shot at that 9.9, because bumping your book's value from $5,000 to $100,000, that kind of payday is very appealing to a lot of people. And so you can see why this type of thing it's getting a little bit of an uproar, all that, and why people are going to be looking for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are the occasional 9.8 now that if they look like they're a possible 9.9, that they might get some higher bids. Now, does that mean it'll pull up the other prices? Probably not. So you got to watch out for that. If you see, like, say this book goes for 10,000 because people think that there's a 15-20% chance, whatever, that this is a 9.9. So they're willing to risk the loss of $5,000 for the potential to make 90. That, like, they're playing that game. And I wouldn't think that then a weak 9.8 is going to also then sell for 10,000. I think it's just going to be a big spike that shows up on this graph, where you have a big fluctuation up and then everybody else generally ignores it after the fact. But that is why, like, this could be a big deal. Like, this could ultimately, and this is what CGC wants, right? They want people like trying to look for these books and doing resubmissions and all this kind of thing. Like, that's the whole point, right? Like, they're a company that's there to make money, and so they are trying to come up with ways, generally, I'm guessing, to make more money. And one of those ways would be having people resubmit for 9.9s, and like, if that book gets a 9.9, what do they get to charge for it? I mean, that's 4% of value. And if it's, say, they estimate it as a $50,000 book, that's $2,000. If they estimated $100,000 book, that's $4,000. How many moderns do you have to submit to get to $4,000? I mean, at $20 a book, you got to submit 200 moderns to get to 4,000. And you actually have to probably do a lot more than that because of the margin. Like, the margin for grading a 9.9 is massive. It doesn't really cost them anything extra to grade the 9.9. So they're just going to make like an extra $4,000 with a 9.8 modern, where if you're just getting $20 a book, maybe their margin is 50%. Maybe they're making $10 a book. If that, you would actually have to grade 400. It's like, so grading 1 to make 4,000 or grading 400 to make 4,000. Obviously, grading this one to make 4,000 is a lot more appealing. A lot less manpower, all that kind of stuff. I mean, same, just one piece of plastic, one label, one box that has to be shipped out, instead of 400 boxes or whatever it is for the moderns, the 9.8 moderns. So just something to think about there. And I think it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, I've said that generally I would be very, very cautious right now around 9.8s and 9.9s until we know what's going on. But I would not be surprised if we've got people right now, like, just scouring the internet, images, every sale, everything, looking for those best of the best 9.8s, because I mean, I think the 9.9s are coming. We'll see. I mean, who knows if they actually do that 9.9 pre-screen or not, but it just seems like they are loosening the reins on those 9.9s. But hopefully you enjoy this video. Maybe you decide to go out and go after this book. I am in no way guaranteeing that this book is a 9.9. I mean, it does look like there are possibly a couple spine ticks over there on that left edge. And I would like to think that keeps it out of the 9.9 grade. But who knows based on what's going on right now. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, all that kind of stuff. I got more videos over here. If you'd like to watch some of my other videos, got the subscription button right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.